Hello, my name is Marty Kennedy, and I have been a trombone teacher in the Dallas Metroplex for the past 23 years. I have the unique opportunity of working with students when they start the instrument and then they become seniors in high school. On occasion, I have students who are in college that were former students that come back and play for me, but mostly I deal with 11 to 18-year-olds. One of the common themes I'm seeing in many of my students is they say, well, I warmed up for 2 minutes, or yeah, I played a couple long tones, I'm good. Or I hear them playing the highest part in one of their etudes, and then they wonder why, um, they don't sound very good, because they started off with their warm-ups in the wrong way. I have promised my students that I would upload a video to YouTube, my YouTube channel, the Kennedy Trombone RX, and show them what just a fundamental little basic warm-up would be, nothing extreme. Why should you listen to me? Well, I have been playing the trombone since I was 12 and I'm now 54. I have played in a semi-professional way and substituted in some professional orchestras. I can upload my resume later. I think the biggest thing why you should listen to me is my students would speak for themselves. I've had students go on to college and be very successful. I've had at least 20 all-state students in my 23 years of teaching in the Dallas Metroplex. I've had students win Outstanding Soloist in Region 2, which includes the Marcus High School cluster, with Louisville ISD cluster, which would include Flower Mound, Hebron, and Marcus High School, where I teach. I also teach in the Northwest ISD, where I've had students make region jazz and also get Outstanding Soloist in their rooms. I have high retention of students. Most of the students that start with me in 6th grade don't quit. They stay with me through the 7 years. So I feel like I'm doing some things right, and perhaps some of the things that I share on YouTube will help you too. I don't claim to be an expert trombonist. I just claim to be an experienced teacher. So some of the lip slurs that I'm going to be pulling out of come from just personal experimentation. Mostly I use some lip slurs from the Brad Edwards Natural Slur Studies book, the David Vining Trombone Technique book, the Schlossberg book. It was something that I used at the University of Iowa with George Krim. And some things that I've heard on YouTube and made up. So enough talking, and now for playing. I'm going to start off with just long tones on F, and then I'm going to graduate that into a long tone smear exercise, all on the F partial. Alright, so long tone F. Oops, started to do my glisses before I played long tone F. I'm going to do 2 more long tone Fs. I'll tell you the truth. I'm about 5'3", and I call myself right arm length challenged. I cannot reach seventh position in tune easily, and I have, from many years of trombone playing, some shoulder problems. Please feel free in your own practicing, as you are young and probably taller than I am, to go ahead and do those seventh positions. All right, now I'm going to do what I call the I love trombone exercise. Back when I was about 19 years old, I I went to a brass conference in Keystone, Colorado, and Joe Alessi was my brass quintet coach for 2 weeks. And he was constantly on me about using more air, using more air. Uh, and he told me one day, he's like, okay, you're going to hike up the mountain behind the dormitories with your trombone, and you're going to turn around and you're going to play into the valley. Now, I'll know that you're playing when I hear you. If I don't hear you playing, you're either not doing what I said, which I wouldn't recommend, or number two, you're not using enough air. He's like, I want you to think, I love my tone, every time you play that 3-note lip slur. So, this is my Joe Alessi lip slur, I love my tone. Exercise I'm calling the Jeopardy exercise in honor of Alex Trebek, who I have probably spent at least 30 minutes a day for the last 20 years watching Jeopardy. It's a lip slur pattern that I actually learned from Max Bonecutter, who was my trombone teacher when I spent time at the University of Iowa. So he was a fabulous teacher for me in the time of the period that I was in my life, that I needed somebody to just help me settle in. And he was like, here, try this lip slur. Yes. So we're going to start on a concert F, and in patterns of 4 notes, I'm going to do B flat to F, and then I'm going to do B flat, F to B flat. Sorry, let me say that backwards. Only the right way. F to B flat, back and forth in 4 pattern. F to low B flat in back and forth, and then I'm going to do a repeating pattern F, B flat, F, B flat, F, 2 times. So, like this. Easier to probably play than it is to describe. I have to work harder to get a bigger breath. So that won't be a problem for you young people. The next lip slur pattern I'm going to do is coming out of the Schlossberg book. Many of you have access to that. I think it's even available as a free download on the internet now. So the Schlossberg daily drills and exercises. I'm starting on low B flat. I'm going to go up to D and then go back to B flat. I have been revisiting the Schlossberg book. I had gotten away from it for a while, and we're using other warm-up exercises, but when I was at the University of Iowa, where I got my bachelor's degree, Professor George Krem was very diligent in my studies in the Schlossberg book, and I wondered why at the time, being a young 18-year-old, why I wasn't playing really hard music. But now I know that everything we did out of the Schlossberg book paid off over the course of my playing career and now in my teaching career. Okay, the next exercise I'm going to do comes from the Brad Edwards book, and it's the triadic natural slurs. This comes from one of the first of his 12 or 20 exercises in his lip slur book. Hear what I was doing. The next exercise also comes from the Brad Edwards book. I'm going to start on high F, and I'm going to go F to C, and then F, C, A, F, A, C, F, something like that. I can't quite remember the pattern, but I can play it. So here you go, starting on high F in first position, using positions 1, 3, and 2 in a natural slur pattern. To the Schlossberg book. I'm going to start on low B flat in first position. I'm going to go up to F, and then I'm going out half a position to the high G, or the high A flat partial, playing a G. There, everybody can improve. Apologize if you have perfect pitch, which some of my students do have, and they remind me all the time. One last exercise is a tonguing exercise that my students at Marcus High School love. incorporating the old-fashioned Batman theme to work on some articulation. One of the things I love is this exercise is really easy. You can do it all on one partial, going down chromatically in each position in 3-note pattern. You can also do it in a variety of ranges, which helps you in your single tongue clarity no matter what the register is that you're playing. Okay? Alright, and then one more, starting on high B flat. That one needs a little practice. Let me do that one again. Okay, and the last exercise I'm going to play, at least for this particular lip slur, or this particular trombone warm-up, is from the Gattke book, Gaetke, a great book from a German pedagogue. We're going to start on low B flat. My trombone players at Marcus call the I can play trombone exercise because it's in patterns of 5 syllables. I can play trombone. Okay, so here we go. Let's do that again. 1, 2, ready. Now, the Gattke book was introduced to me by my teacher, Don Lucas, when I was at Texas Tech and his teaching assistant back in the late 90s. He introduced me to that Gattke book, and it's really an excellent way of getting through partials in a way that's not a lip slur per se, but is a lip flexibility exercise. I always called the book gymnastics for trombone playing. All right, this is just a small snippet of some of the things that I do in a warm-up. I think without talking, it would take you about 10 minutes. So maybe you can pause the video and practice some of the lip slurs, and then fast forward through the talking after you get an idea of what I'm doing. And I hope that you'll come back and listen to me talk about fundamentals or talk about trombone playing again. Be happy to hear from you. My email address is marteach66@gmail.com. That's marteach66@gmail.com. All right, thank you, and happy tromboning.